Hey everybody, this is Mace1370 and we have a very special draft today. This is a MTG Salvation Swiss draft where I am drafting with many foreign personalities. Let's see, we have Battelier, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Gur, which is Seen, we have Asenia, Flabbergasted, Jacob, who I think is Hardened, Naranth, and Jetnik. So looking at this pack, I think the clear pick is Progenitor Mimic. It's a pretty huge bomb. And it's far and away more powerful than any of the other cards in this pack. We are passing some very powerful cards, however. Warp Physique is very good, so is Carnage Gladiator, as is Maw of the Obsidat. Zertod Druid is also a very strong card. Nivik Cyclops is fine, but it's in a guild that I don't really care for. So assuming this wasn't here, I would be inclined to either take maybe the Druid or the Maw or the Warp Physique. Rakdos is kind of a hard guild to draft. It seems like red gets picked over and you kind of get bullied by a lot of the other guilds in the format. But yeah, so we're taking Progenitor Mimic and shipping a lot of black and some red as well. We got past Rurik Thar, which is interesting. It's a pretty big threat. And looking at the rest of this pack, we don't really have a green card or a blue card to follow up our Progenitor Mimic. So I think we'll probably just take Rurik Thar here, and then plan on either going Gruul or Simic, depending on what we can cut best. An alternative pick would be Rebel Belt Maka, but I don't think that'd be very good here, just because then you'd be passing Rurik Thar, and we don't have a red card to go with this, so if you're going to take a red card, you might as well take the better of the two. Other cards to consider are Pilfered Plans, which I think is fine, but it's just nowhere near in power level to these two. Murmuring Phantasm is a blue card which would fit with Progenitor Mimic, but it's just not a very strong card, and it will probably wheel. I think Armored Wolf Rider is fine. Rot Farm Skeleton seems pretty situational, and I haven't found a consistent use for it yet, so I tend not to take it early. We don't really want to Cluster or anything like that at this point, so yeah, Rurik Thar it is. Interesting. Okay, so here we could take Skylasher, we could also take Zertod Druid, and there's a Tithe Drinker in the pack. I think Zertod Druid should be a pretty easy pick, and we can intend on going Gruul, possibly splashing blue for Progenitor Mimic. Zertod Druid is one of the better cards in this pack. I think Tithe Drinker is probably the best one. Kind of stinks that we're passing a Skylasher. I mean, he's fine. Obviously, I guess better in Constructed, but yeah, I guess the best card in this pack is Tithe Drinker, and so because we passed that pick one Maw of the Obsidat and then a Tithe Drinker here, and I think there's a Fatal Fumes in the previous pack, we are likely sending one of our neighbors into Orzhov, which is totally fine since we want Gruul. There is a Cerulean Gatekeepers here, but obviously you don't take that here since there's a Zertod Druid, so Druid it is. Okay, well I think we have another pretty easy pick. There's a late Carnage Gladiator. Breaking and entering is fine, but not that exciting, so there's a bit of a Rakdos signal in this pack. Basically, the entering part of this card is much, much better than the breaking part, but even entering isn't that great. It's not something I would take in this scenario. Here I think we just take Punish the Enemy. It's a very solid red removal spell, and it goes quite well with our second and third pick. Progenitor Mimic is a card that I definitely want to be able to sneak in if at all possible. So yeah, I think Punish the Enemy here is nice because it lets us stay on the Gruul plan. We're not really passing any Gruul in this pack, which is pretty key for pack 2 since we want to get rewarded there. We're passing a Boros Mastiff, which will be likely taken by the Orzhov player. And now that we've passed 2 Nivik Cyclopses and 2 Carnage Gladiators, maybe we will incentivize someone to go in that direction. Interesting. So there's no obvious Gruul cards in this pack. There are a couple Simic ones. Give Take is very strong, so is Battering Crassus, as is Crow Warrior. I'm happy to see all of these cards in this pack just because it means that green is likely open, because these are all strong cards and there's really nothing else to compete with them. So now I think the question comes, do we want to take Give Take? Likely playing at least the green half of it, maybe being able to support us, the blue half. Or we could take a more consistent card like Crow Warrior. And I think it's probably just going to be the Crow Warrior. And honestly, like we haven't seen much blue up to this point, so I think taking Give Take with the intention of going Simic is probably wrong. I mean, Give is a strong card, but I think I want to take the 2-drop here. Okay, so this pack is a little empty. That's another Boros Mastiff, so some white player is going to be happy that that's coming to him fairly late. There's another Blast of Genius. I think we might just want to take the Is It Guildgate. If we go Gruul, then that would help us support Progenitor Mimic, which I think is worth it. The alternative is taking Weapon Surge, which is a good combat trick, but I'm more interested in playing Progenitor Mimic than I am with Weapon Surge, and this will almost ensure that we'll be able to do that. So I think Weapon Surge it is. And this pack is kind of a miss, which is, that happens. I think it's pretty much the first straight-up miss we've gotten so far, which is not bad. It's 7th pick, so every draft can't be perfect. So we could take Toil and Trouble. We could take Smeltward Gatekeepers. And I guess it's the Gatekeeper. It is a 2/4. We don't really want Toil and Trouble since we're not looking to be black. So I'll cut this card, or not cut, I'll take this card, hopefully with the ability to maybe support the Gatekeeper action if we get another Guildgate or two. Here, I guess we could take a Maze Rusher, but honestly, Maze Rusher is not that exciting of a card. I'm just going to take Feral Animus. Not that I think this card is amazing, but for signaling purposes, I think it's important to take it now. And Maze Rusher is just not that exciting, especially since we already have 2 6-drops. Wow, the Zertog Druid Wield? Okay, well this makes me feel very good. So I guess the Fatal Fumes is in our opener. There might have been one in the pack after, I'm not sure. But yeah, we're slamming this. I don't know what other people opened, but getting a Zertog Druid on the Wield is pretty huge. And let's see, here we could take a Gruul Cluestone or an Is It Cluestone, and I think I'll take the Is It one just to help support Progenitor Mimic. Now we did pass a little bit of Simic in that one pack. We passed the Battering Crisis and the Give Take, but we didn't really pass much green-red other than that. So I think we're set up for a pretty good pack 2 here. This is one of the more solid first packs I've had so far. I think Gruul kind of fell into our lap. When you get a 2nd pick Rorikthar, I think that's a signal that at least the person next to you is probably not Gruul. So I'm going to go ahead and pause while we wait for the next pack to start. Okay, Maze Abomination is a good card. We're not playing it. We're not taking either of these Cluestones. I'm just going to take the Cerulean Gatekeepers, and honestly, I'd prefer to play them to the Smeltward. We might end up playing both just depending on how it goes, but we will see. So here we could take Phyto Burst, which is pretty much a terrible card. There's also Morg Burst, which is a more powerful card. I think I'm just going to take the Nivix Cyclops. I don't think we'll play it, but who knows? On the off chance that we get forced out of green and we have to do some sort of weird Is It thing, splashing green instead of splashing blue, then it's nice to have, I suppose. And here I'll just take the Maze Behemoth, since it's the most likely card to make the deck, although hopefully not very likely. Alright, now I guess I'm just taking Uncovered Clues, but not playing it. Interesting that we're getting a Mending Touch here at the end. This card is actually kind of playable in the sideboard against the right type of deck. So here's hoping for a good pack 2. Alright, well, I could just take a Godless Shrine for the tickets, but in the interest of, doing this correctly, since we're playing with MTG Salvation folks, I will forego the 1 or 2 tickets from Godless Shrine. Unfortunately, other than Pit Fight, this pack is kind of a blank. I'm not very excited about Armored Transport. Even if it wheels, it wouldn't be that great for me. I would probably most prefer the Gruul Guildgate to make it around the table, and who knows, it might. But yeah, at least we got a good pick out of it. Pit Fight is a strong card. Alright, well there's a Scarred Goliath, which is absolutely gigantic. We're just taking Slaughterhorn though, not really close. Slaughterhorn's amazing, and happy to take it here. Okay, I think Greenside Watcher is probably the pick. We have 1 Guildgate, so who knows, maybe we'll be able to activate its ability. Kind of, unfortunate that we haven't seen more Gruul Gold cards. I was hoping to see a Zertar Swine. This is only the 3rd pick, so there is still time. I would like the Ruination Worm to potentially table. Millennial Gargoyle, I guess, could be another okay card to get. But yeah, these packs aren't looking that great, considering that I think we cut Gruul pretty well, and given the fact that Zertog Druid Wield, we're probably one of the only Gruul players at the table. Well, this is a little unfortunate. Not a whole lot for us in this pack. We don't want to play Simic Flux Mage. Some Boros players getting majorly hooked up. Don't really want to take Leyland Phantom, so I guess I'm just taking Scorchwalker, but that's a pretty unexciting pick. I guess this is a little bit late than never. We're taking a Disciple of the Old Ways here. This is absolutely absurd that some Boros player is going to have the most ridiculous deck ever after this pack. This is like the second or third Sky Knight Legionnaire, and we just passed Wojciech Halberdiers, and I think there was like one other card in there. But nothing for us yet. Okay, another Disciple is fine. I don't think we want the Massive Raid. I think we prefer the Disciple. It's pretty much our premier 2-drop, that and Zertod Druid, so yeah, we'll take that. And here's a miss. So this pack was pretty bad for us. I'm not really sure what happened. Given the print runs, it looks likely that the packs were just kind of crummy and not much got open. Hopefully pack 3 will be better. I don't really know what we're going to be looking for. I really hope that Gruul Guild Gate Wheel, since it would. We have 2 Gatekeepers, and if we're able to, play both of those, then that would really increase our playable count right now. Because we could pick up that Gruul Guild Gate and then potentially another Izzet one in pack 3 to get 3 Guild Gates, and that would probably at least let us play the Ceruli ones. Alright, well this is a little more like it. We have Ivy Lane Denizen. As cute as it would be to take Biovisionary and Progenitor Mimic it for the win, yeah, I think we're just taking the Ivy Lane Denizen. Active Treason is a reasonable choice, considering that our deck looks very aggressive, and we don't really have, I guess we have the Smelt Ward, but we don't have another Active Treason effect. There's always Traitor's Instinct next pack. Ivy Lane Denizen is too good to pass up here, and I probably would prefer not to play Scorchwalker. Or, probably Smelt Ward Gatekeepers, to be honest. Alright, well, the Gruul Guild Gate Wheeled, so that is, I guess, a small blessing. I don't know what other people are doing, but I guess Gruul was just not opened. So here, I guess I'm just taking Towering Thunderfist. At the end of the day, it's a 5/5, or a 4/4, I mean. Alright, Ruination Worm Wheeled. So, this was kind of weird. I don't know. It seems like Gruul was open, but I guess it just wasn't. Or, sorry, yeah, Gruul was open, but the packs just weren't there for us, which happens. Taking Primal Visitations and Frenzied Tilling. So, now we got the hookup. And Crackling Perimeter, you're going all in. Hide these. Alright, pack 3. Now I have a decision to make. How greedy do I want to be? I am usually a pretty greedy person. Collective Blessing is an absurd bomb. We don't have any white fixing yet. We already have one absurd bomb in Progenitor Mimic, and as much as I want to take this, I don't think we can afford to. I think we just need to take the Annihilating Fire. It'll just make our deck a lot more consistent. Progenitor Mimic will win games by itself, as will Collective Blessing, I suppose. Maybe Collective Blessing is a little better than Progenitor Mimic, but yeah, had we maybe picked up a couple free Boros Guild Gates, I don't know, it might be a possibility, but given the look of our deck, we look pretty aggressive. We have a lot of 2-drops, not many 3s yet, so hopefully we'll be able to fix that. So sadly, I think I'm going to have to pass up this Collective Blessing. And it very much pains me to do so. So I guess here we could have gone with the Axebane Guardian to support it. Interesting. I don't think we need to take the Axebane Guardian here. We could just take Drudge Beetle. Axebane Guardian helps us ramp into Ruination Worm, Rurik Thar, and I guess Progenitor Mimic. And we do have a decent amount of 2-drops, but let's see. So if I had the Forced Adaptation, and we subtract the Guild Gates and probably these guys, and I really don't want to play Towering Thunderfist. Let's see, so we do need a few more playables here in this pack, and honestly, I probably don't even want to play Feral Animist. We do have a lot of 2-drops, so maybe it is correct to take the Guardian. Yeah, I think I'll take that. Like I said, we have a lot of 2-drops. So this pack is pretty much exactly what our deck needs. We have our option of Centaur's Herald or Golgari Longlegs. Golgari Longlegs would be nice because it would fit well in that 5 slot. I think we might have opened one in pack 1 or seen one in pack 2, so maybe this will come around. I think I'm just taking the Centaur's Herald here. It's a nice turn 3 play that we're kind of lacking right now, so I'll take that. Okay, well, this is a little unexciting. There's Giant Growth or Trader's Instincts. I think Giant Growth is probably a better trick. Although Trader's Instinct is pretty good. I think Giant Growth is more consistent. Okay, we could take Electrickery here for the sideboard. I think I'm just going to take Coercive Might. It's a fine combat trick. We only have 15 creatures at this point, which isn't quite enough to make this that exciting, but maybe we'll pick up a couple more. Okay, or a Dead Reveler. Yeah, we don't need another Coercive Might, so I guess I'm just taking Crows to monitor, even though that's pretty unexciting. Yeah, I mean, Selesnya was open. Although, I mean, to be fair, Growing Ranks is kind of a awkward card. Could take Druid's Deliverance. I don't think we need it. Could take Tenement Crasher. It's big. We could take Electrickery for the sideboard. I guess I'll just take Tenement Crasher. He's a big dude. World Spine Worm, huh? What is this, 11 mana? I mean, is that a Pursuit of Flight? And, I mean, I think it's just Pursuit of Flight. Not really close. This is cute, and I would love to run it and actually play it against, especially against someone on MTG Salvation. But I think Pursuit of Flight is the pick here because, one, like I said, we have a lot of early drops, and we actually have, you know, a couple blue sources to get this active and at its best. Centaur's Herald Wheeling is a good sign. I mean, I think we're in the right colors. It just seems like the packs weren't really there. And it looks like maybe it was next pack that we saw the Golgari Longlegs. I guess I'm just taking another Pursuit of Flight. Man, it's a dramatic rescue too. Yep, I think it was this pack with the Golgari Longlegs. Unfortunate that neither of them came around. I would have liked to have had one. I guess we'll take Tenement Crasher. If I knew it had none of the other Centaur's Herald would have wheeled, I guess I would have preferred the Longlegs to two Heralds, but c'est la vie. And I guess here I'll just take a Nivix Skilled Mage, because why not? Claire pick is Foil Plains. And we didn't get another Guild Gate either. That would have been nice. I think we might still be able to run Cerulean Gatekeepers. Hopefully we won't have to, though. Only having 2 Guild Gates makes this pretty unexciting. But yeah, there's a chance that someone who got the Collective Blessing is just going to crush us. Alright. Okay, so let's put this thing together. Yeah, I guess Feral Animus can come in, considering we have double Pursuit of Flight likely. I think he will work just fine. Maybe even Primal Visitations, yes. Pit Fight. So yeah, we don't have that much removal, but we have a Pit Fight and an Annihilating Fire, so we don't have 0. I guess we have Punish the Enemy too. Playing these guys, not playing that. This guy's probably not. Okay, let's see. So we can take something out. 16 creatures, could just take out the Coercive Might. It is an okay trick, but not the greatest. I think we need to leave the Cluestone in just for fixing purposes. That and I guess the Guild Gate give us 2. I guess Axebane Guardian is the 3rd. I think that's enough. I generally like to run between 2 and 3 sources for a single splash card. If you can get 3, then it's going to be pretty consistent that you'll have the mana to cast it. 2 is, you know, a little more hit and miss, but I think sufficient in a tight situation. So yeah, a card to take out. I don't want to take a creature because we have 16. I think that's pretty much the minimum that I want to have, considering one of them is a defender. So I think we just take out Coercive Might. I think this is fine. These are, you know, pretty much 3 drops. Yep, and so we have some top end, we have a bomb, we have some removal. Overall, I think this is a fairly strong deck. So we'll put these in, we'll take this out and put in the Izzet Guildgate, and we'll take a Forest out and put in a Groll. This gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red sources, which I think is enough. 3 blue, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 green. Alright, and I guess also this means we have 9 red. So I think overall we're pretty good. Going to submit and